The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to our review show here of WWE Backlash 2023 from April 6th at the Coliseo de Puerto Rico in San Juan, Puerto Rico, in front of 17,944 fans. I'm Karlifornia. This is Joosey Boy. Joosey Boy, how are you going?
Viva la Puerto Rico! I'm good. I'm very good, and I'm excited to talk about this show with you here today. Interesting pacing layout of the card. Let's start chopping it up.
Yeah, bro. You seem in a really good mood today. I wonder why that is. There a particular reason for that? Or mate. Well, yeah. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? Joosey Boy got laid.
You know. No, but I've also had about 16 cups of coffee. And so I'm a bit jumpy today. Oh, and not only that, well, by the time it goes, I also have another piece of very good news separate from that, which I'll tell you about off air, my friend, which is also
very good. Very good.
Excitement.
Well, it's nice to see that you took the feedback of you being a little bit, tired during some reviews.
Oh, dude, work
a little too serious.
Work has just been fucking. Work has just been fucking killing me. By the time we get to some of these reviews, I'm like half asleep.
Yeah,
but interesting show. We opened up, with one of the women's championship matches. It was Bianca Belair, taking on
Io Sky. Yep.
And when I saw that this match was opening the show, I might as well just run through my notes first here. When I saw that this was opening the show, I kind of was thinking, don't know if this is like the best placement, but here's an example. The biggest star of this show tonight, and it's a running theme throughout this, was the crowd. Great crowd, booed the heels, cheered the good guys, really got into it and appreciated it, and it made it more exciting to watch. Bianca Belair never really has a bad match. She's a great talent. I don't really think that the chemistry was there between her and Io Sky, not because they can't work, but just I think the dichotomy between the two characters, it didn't really work. I think that Bianca needs somebody, or Io, needs somebody else that is sort of a bit off the wall and a bit more quirky and stuff. I don't know how to explain it. I just felt like it didn't mesh for me as a matchup. It was technically fine, but I'm only going to give it like a C+ because I just felt like it never got into that next gear for me.
Yeah, interesting. They tend to do this a lot though, because we have 3 world titles at the moment, soon to be 4 world titles. So they always open a show now with a world title match, or usually a Brock Lesnar match. But I was really happy with the opening of this show because it wasn't like the previous shows where it's just like that voiceover guy going, and now WWE Backlash. This time they're panning the crowd. Michael Cole's, fucking yelling and carrying on, hyping the show. Welcome to back. That's what I want to hear. Yeah. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want a cold open. So very good. And you can't have a cold open in Puerto Rico because the crowd are pumped.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I loved it. So Bianca and Io Sky, I wasn't sure about the decision to put Io in a title match because it's a foregone conclusion here. And I felt like that a little bit with a lot of Bianca's recent opponents. Like, was it Carmella, one of them? No, Alexa Bliss was the one at the Royal Rumble.
They're just feeding her.
Yeah, it's just like, okay. I'll say I've got to know a bit more about that a little bit later on. But the crowd seemed like supremely behind Io, which I found interesting. But here's the thing, and I've said this a few times about Bianca. I'm just not into the long-term babyface title reign. I feel like I don't know who Bianca Belair is. I just know that she has long hair and dances to the ring, and she's cute for all the little girl wrestling fans out there. I get that, but I just feel like there's no layers to the character like there are for the heels. I did like the reversal of that glam slam into the roll through, and then Io stomped her in the gut. Very cool.
Yeah. And the sit-out powerbomb as well, bro.
Yeah, I haven't got to that yet, bro. I haven't got to that.
Sorry.
Because all this other stuff happened. Okay. I thought the match actually built well. I actually kind of disagreed with you. I thought that these two worked well together, actually. I thought that they gave them a good amount of time here to really try and steal the show, even though it was going to be impossible to steal the show of what was coming later. Another note on Bianca, I feel like her facial expressions when she sells, I can't connect with them. I don't connect with them. Whereas when I saw Damien Priest facial expressions later on, I was very much so connected with those facial expressions. Did like the moonsault to the outside. The sit-down powerbomb off the second rope. That is excellent, but I wasn't sure about kicking out of it. I think that should have just been the finish, because I'll tell you what, Juicy Boy, I did not like the finish whatsoever. No. I didn't like the Bianca and Dakota Kai interference. I thought when Bayley suddenly was pulled into the ring, it made things awkward, and I just thought the finish was a bit flat. After, what I thought was a pretty good match. 18 minutes, 1 second that they got given for this one. So it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Backstage, bro. I don't know if you skipped all the backstage stuff, but Bad Bunny was backstage talking to Rey Mysterio. And then he brings in Savio Vega, who handed Bad Bunny a kendo stick with a Puerto Rican flag on it.
Yeah, that's time.
Very exciting to see Savio Vega, my good friend. You can see my exclusive interview on the Insider's Edge podcast on this channel. Up next, bro, Omos with MVP taking on Seth freaking Rollins. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 notes to mention here. I wrote, Omos has to win this. I love Omos just fucking belting him before the match while the fans are doing the stupid sing-along again. I'm sick of the theme song sing-along, bro. I'm over it. I'm into Omos's offense and his attitude and his work. I don't know why anyone would dare talk down about this big man's work, because any other wrestler his size in the history of wrestling has not had the mobility that Omos has. Maybe Paul White when he was the Giant in WCW. But, same story. Seth trying to chop the redwood down. He hits a frog splash and kicks out. Omos kicks out at 1. Very good. I like that. You're making Omos look strong here. He blocked a stomp by not even letting the stomp take place. He just kept firm. I love that. Then he hit a choke slam and Seth kicked out. So okay, we're kicking out of choke slams now. I'm just, again, Omos needs this win. It stomps twice. Kicks out. That's good. Oh, top rope stomp. Seth beats Omos. And I'm like, fuck this, man. You've done it to him again.
Yeah.
The guy, every time it's an important time for him to win. Braun, Brock, Lashley, now Seth. Every time he's had that chance to get to that next echelon by beating a bigger name, they've had him fail. 10 minutes, 31 seconds this one went. What did you think, Juicy Boy?
This would have been a perfect way to use Omos if they had have actually had him win the match. In what reality would it have harmed Seth Rollins to lose this match, especially if he got fucked over? My next question, what's the point of putting Omos with MVP as the mouthpiece and manager and saying that he's unlocked Omos's killer instinct if he's still losing matches just like before? MVP's the one in kayfabe that challenged Brock Lesnar. Omos loses. MVP goes out there and says, well, Seth Rollins, you may be a multiple-time world champion, but this is my big beast, Omos. And he was just born that way. Omos just lost the fucking match. D+ for the match. And also, I'm giving it a pass because it's the Puerto Rican crowd, but no one gives a shit about hearing him chant the fucking theme song. And you know what? I personally feel like preemptively, because I know we're blitzing through, I'm going to add this at the end here. Preemptively, to everyone that's going to shit on Omos's work in this match, go fuck yourself. If you go back and look a year and a half ago to how he was doing in the ring, much more of a generic developmental big man that's just going through the motions. Now he's learning the facial expressions. He's getting into what he's doing. And I just wanted to point that out. Don't forget, guys, Braun Strowman, when he first showed up on TV, was basically like a refrigerator and could barely move. And these days you see him having very good matches. So give it a chance.
Yeah, people just they have already got their Oh, they've already got their thoughts about him before even giving him a chance.
Preconceived notions.
That's what I was looking for, bro. They've judged the book by its cover. They just expect, oh, it's another big man. He's just going to be boring. Like, fuck you. He doesn't have to do a destroyer, mate. Okay. Okay, look, let's move forward. But look,
yeah,
I think we're both jiving there on the point that Omos should not fucking be losing big time matches at this point. Maybe okay. It's okay to lose to the Lashley match. If he loses to Strowman, he should have already had his win back by now. He loses to Lesnar. I don't think he needed to lose here. I think he needed to go up and Seth could go down. Wouldn't have hurt.
Yeah.
Seth would have been fine.
He would have been neutral, basically.
Yeah, like Seth would have been fine, but now it hurts Omos. If Omos won, then he would have been fine, and Seth would have been fine. So it doesn't help both people here. Next up, WWE United States Championship match. Austin Theory, the champion, defending against Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed. What do you think, Juicy Boy?
All right, all three of these guys never have a bad match. However, I feel as though this felt a bit more like what we would see at a house show rather than on a premium live event. I'm not saying that necessarily because it was bad. I just didn't get the big fight feel of like a triple threat United States title match. This sort of felt like the exact same type of thing that they would book as the main event of a Raw. So it felt like that to me. But everyone involved did really well. I really appreciated the fact that they went out of their way to spotlight every single member of the match. Bobby Lashley, that tremendous entrance. It starts off with him standing on the thing in the lights right before that first note of his music hits, and it sets the stage of this. That's the way that he should have been perceived. We should have been seeing that at WrestleMania. You know, you can tell that they're making up for it now, but that was good that they did that. Bronson Reed, the commentators spoke of him glowingly. They didn't shy away from his history in Australia and around the world. They put him over. My favorite thing about this, though, was that Austin Theory managed to steal the win. I thought it was the perfect way for him to steal the win. Number one, Bronson Reed was not made to look weak in Austin Theory stealing this win. And Bobby Lashley also continues to look strong, despite the fact that he won the win. And Austin Theory now has yet another win in his catalog of like being that cunning, dirty bastard that escaped just barely. I'm going to go ahead and give the match a C-. I thought it was all right. So far at this point, though, the show wasn't really grabbing me that much, I have to say. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, I felt like when I kept looking at how long had passed by from the show at this point, I was like, God, like, I've still got like 2 hours and 30 minutes, whatever it was. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, it already felt like it had gone for ages. You know, like how when the Royal Rumble comes around and it's always like, you know, both feet have to touch the floor. You have to go over that. We get it. Like every time there's a triple threat match, it's always going to be Corey Graves yelling about, you know, Austin Theory could potentially lose the title here without getting pinned. We know.
Yeah.
Don't yell it. Don't yell it. I'm sick of his yelling, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, sometimes he has a line or a call here and there that I'm like, oh, I actually like that. You know, he's sort of improving slowly over time. But then he's so overbearing. So I agree.
Yeah, he said one thing later on in the show that I was happy with, but I can't remember what it was now. I did not like the spot where Lashley threw Theory into Bronson, who then held him in a DDT. And then Lashley clotheslines Bronson, which then forces a DDT on Austin. Yeah. Don't do it. I don't like that.
That's backyard wrestling spots right there.
That's it, bro. Or AEW. Bronson's getting highlighted in this, and I thought he was getting himself quite over here. And I don't think it'll be too much longer until he is much more over. Especially if they let him keep hitting that tsunami splash on people. Yeah. I love the spot with the hurt lock. And then Theory managed to get out of it, but then a tsunami took place. But I hated the camera angle on it. Really annoyed me. I want to see the thing from when it comes off the top rope to the fucking completion of the maneuver. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see like him just like fucking jump into the shot. I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch them do a choke slam now, they zoom right in. I want to see it from a distance, like how we used to see like Kane do it. You know, you could see the whole thing in one camera angle.
Yeah, because just a quick comment to add to that, like subliminally speaking, when they do these camera cuts and weird zooms in the middle of moves and in the middle of the motions of the moves, subconsciously your brain is telling you, okay, they're cutting away from a wider shot because they're trying not to show me the bigger picture, because either they think it's going to look too fake or whatever if they show the wider shot. You don't need to keep cutting during the middle of movement like that. Just let things play out. If something ends up looking crap, you can cover it up on the replays and people will forget about it. But don't compensate live when something happens for the first time with the camera angles.
Yeah, anyway. You little beaver motherfucker.
Yeah.
Haven't done this ever. The finish was excellent with the missed moonsault spear. I couldn't believe Bronson can actually perform a moonsault.
Yeah.
I was like, shit. Theory
like
took
a modern
advantage.
day Bam Bam, bro.
That's it, bro. At least he can actually do the moonsault instead of like a side salt that Bam Bam used to do. 6 minutes, 51 seconds for Theory retaining there. Let's move forward, bro. SmackDown Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley defending against Zelina Vega. We knew Zelina wasn't going to win here. We know.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't get, right? And I know Michael Cole's trying to explain it. Zelina's mother gave her a flip-flop. And he's trying to explain that it's a big thing over here. And Zelina just like threw it at Rhea. And I was like, why would you throw it at her? Like, it would hurt if you smacked her with it. But just throwing at it, well, come on. Yeah. Why would you throw it at her? I didn't understand that. I feel like Zelina maybe needs to wrestle more often. I don't know how often she's wrestling. She works all the live events and all that. Because I just felt like her selling wasn't as snappy as it should be. You know, she needs more reps, I think. Because it just seemed like she's someone who's a little bit rusty. But I did like the Riptide reversal into the DDT. And I thought that outfit that Zelina was wearing is the best that she's ever worn. Whoa, dude. Whoa. Looked awesome. Really good near fall with the Meteora. See, she hit a few things that were really cool. But just some parts of this match, I was like, I liked when Rhea Ripley just had enough. She had enough. She just hit the Riptide, folds Zelina up, and got the 1, 2, 3. It's like she toyed with her for long enough, and then it was just like, oh, you know what? She's actually really annoying me, and she just fucking nailed her. I like the crowd appreciation for Zelina.
That was a good moment, yeah.
Yeah, and I love the pay-per-views in different countries. It's nice seeing how they act towards like the Saudi Arabia crowd. I like the Saudi Arabia crowd because they treat it like a fan is supposed to. 7 minutes, 11 seconds for that one. What did you think, Joosey Boy?
Match, technically speaking, was so-so. The big problem with it was there's a massive incongruity between the story that they're trying to tell with Zelina Vega being in her hometown of San Juan and doing it in honor of her father who passed in the 9/11 attacks, and she's wearing this tremendous outfit and her family's in the front row, and she gets this huge standing ovation, tearful at the end, and it's a nice moment. But you can't really book that story if you're also going to have the opponent be the dominant women's champion that's just won the title in the biggest match of her career, and this is her first title defense. You know, you've got these two intrinsically opposing characters that don't work together in terms of a match, and you can't completely tell one story fully effectively without sacrificing some of the other story.
Yeah.
And so this to me felt like there was one match going on in the ring, but they were trying to convey two different stories just because they happened to be in Puerto Rico for this pay-per-view. So it didn't really work that well for me, and I'm going to have to give it a D+. I also think that although I really appreciated and respected the standing ovation for Zelina at the end, I felt as though these ladies deserved a few extra minutes in the match too. I thought that they cut it a bit quick.
7 minutes 11. I mean, and they gave fucking Bianca and Io 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, how about you take 5 off Io and Bianca and give 5 to Rhea and Zelina? But whatever. Also, I smirked at you using the word incongruity. By the way, everyone, Juicy Boy reads the dictionary. Right, moving forward, bro. Street fight. Damien Priest versus Bad Bunny. Take it away, bro.
Match of the show. This is getting an A- from me. When it first started, I wasn't sure what I was going to think of it. As it started going along, started getting into the goodies, the weapon spots and stuff. I'm not, you know me, I'm not a play-by-play reviewer. I don't like to go through all the individual spots. I wasn't necessarily, like, I started taking notice basically from the Michinoku driver at the beginning. And then from then on, it sort of was getting me more and more invested. You know, I love the idea that they kind of went for about 10 minutes and then Priest hit the sit out choke slam, and then he picked Bad Bunny's shoulders up off the mat, preventing Bunny from being pinned, which is like, okay, you want to keep Damien Priest looking strong. That's a good way to do it. I didn't like the fact that that kind of telegraphed Bad Bunny getting the win. However, I like the fact that it's kind of telling the story there that Priest would have won this match, but his pride and his ego eventually ended up costing him. The match continues on for quite some time after that point. We end up getting a run-in from Carlito, who looked fantastic and got a huge pop. He needs to be re-signed. It pisses me off that they didn't re-sign him after his appearance in the Rumble a couple of years ago when Christian and Edge, which also had Christian appear in it, which was before he went to AEW. Loved seeing Savio. I thought that the only negative thing about Savio coming out was they sort of stood there for a bit too long with him standing in the entranceway with his music going. I would have just trimmed that by a few seconds and just had it moving a little bit quicker so that it's almost happening a little bit too quickly to soak it all in. Because to me, I was like, oh man, Carlito and Rey Mysterio's out here and Savio's out. I'm trying to get my bearings, fucking. So there was a lot going on, and I was like, okay, this is kind of the Gaga match of the show, but this is also the draw of the show, and everyone was going crazy about it, and I really enjoyed it. I also think, as a final point, it was a huge mistake not putting this match on last. Huge. I don't care how over Sami and Owens and the whole Bloodline thing is. I don't think the Puerto Ricans gave a shit about that as much as they gave a shit about seeing two guys from their soil having this huge match.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree. This should have gotten on last because it was such a joyous ending. For, once it was all over, everyone was so happy and the crowd were going nuts. Not as nuts as they were for Cody, but then again, Cody is not Puerto Rican and he's not Bad Bunny, who's like being flanked by some of their heroes like Carlito, Savio, and Rey Mysterio. So I think this, you're right. It should have gone on last. I was really, you know what? Like last time Bad Bunny performed with the Miz tag match that took place at WrestleMania and his Royal Rumble appearance, both times I was just like, whatever. But this time I was really into it. When he hit the Michinoku driver again to start off, I'm like, man, this guy's so surprising. Like the way he picked him up and just held him up, and then, he's for someone who's not who is a non-wrestler, he's pretty fucking good. I really did like Priest's work in this match. It was really cool seeing him get the spotlight a little bit for a change, as opposed to being like a part of a 6-man tag match or a tag match, or just on the outside of the ring, seconding like a Finn Balor match or whatever. It was just cool seeing, okay, like he's got the spotlight here. He's the heel. We're getting to see, we got 25 minutes here to really get to know Damien Priest and how much of a prick he is. I really liked it. There was a part of the match where Priest was walking out in the match, and when he looked, when they do that,
I popped for it, man.
It's so funny because how disgraceful to walk out on such a big match with this big celebrity you're fighting. But
which he started the fight. He started the whole issue as well.
He did. And he suckered him in, though, which was great, because then Buddy chased after him. And then he just got fucking... See, that was great. I loved seeing that. Damien Priest just suckered him in like a real sucker. Very cool. And then we get like a really cool spot, like right in the backstage area where Bad Bunny gets a falcon arrow off that platform through a pile of tables there. Really cool. And again, this is what Damien Priest has needed. Like I was watching him here going, I could see this guy heading toward the main event eventually if they keep him on a strong trajectory and don't keep him as like a number 2 under Finn Balor. And Finn might be kind of the leaderish type thing in the Judgment Day, maybe. I don't know. But I think Damien should really take more charge. Loved Damien's selling of the knee, the screaming, very good. As soon as Dominic runs into the ring with Finn, I laugh. I'm just laughing because everyone hates him so much. And when you see him out there just getting heat on Bad Bunny, you know, everyone's like, fucking hell. Someone get him, and you know it's going to happen. Here comes Ray. And I actually wrote, where's Savio? And then, of course, Ray gets beaten down. Here comes Carlito. I'm like jumping out of my seat, man.
Oh, man, I popped huge, man.
It's so fucking cool, because you know what? Honestly, I reckon a year ago, if there was a situation like this, there's no way they would have given a shine to someone like Carlito or Savio Vega, or there wouldn't even be someone wearing an LWO shirt. Damn it, pal, no one cares what the LWO is. That's exactly what would happen. But we're getting some really cool things here. So when Savio came out, man, I'm like, my heart's fucking. I'm in love with this moment here, because Savio's my boy. Really love Damien selling again of the figure 4. Yes, I agree with you with that awkward bit where Savio was kind of standing there. I don't know if he needed a point to the entranceway to get the LWO guys to charge out. Or if he was just waiting for the theme song to play. I don't know if there was a mishap there, but either way, I really like seeing Savio hit his, patented.
Yeah, the sidekick.
Yeah, and the chop to the throat. What are you going to say about Corey Graves?
I was going to say Corey Graves during that bit where Savio got physical was like, oh, we're channeling a bit of TNT here tonight, and that's a throwback to Savio's.
That's the thing.
So that was good. Well done, Corey. If you can be less of a fuckhead, you might be not so bad.
Yeah, one thing. Try 30 next time. Try 30 things. Impress us. And of course, Bad Bunny with the Destroyer to win the match. 25 minutes, 3 seconds for that one.
It went for a long time. That's a long time for a WWE match too. That's a long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of a long one, the next one, the 6-man actually went 22 minutes and 5 seconds, which I was surprised by. It's the Usos and Solo Sikoa, the Bloodline, taking on Riddle, Owens, and Zayn. I'm going to get through this one quick.
Yeah.
I really wasn't into this one so much because I feel like I'm a little bit over the story now. I feel like we've already hit our apex with the story when Owens and Zayn won the tag titles.
Yeah.
So I feel like
take a turn, but they're still going down the straight road, but they need to
do the Zayn Jey Uso blow off singles match already. Whatever it's going to be, just do it. I think they just they all need to just go do something else for a while. But I like that this was kind of more focused on Solo Sikoa. Because I like his no-nonsense shit. I like he's methodical, but when it's time, he loses it. And I do feel like Sami's just Sami again, whereas before he seemed like a real interesting character on the show with, again, layers. Now I just feel like he's just Sami Zayn, which is what he was before that. And actually, no, before that, he was wearing the fucking hat and being all crazy and shit. So I think he's just gone back to like Sami Zayn from 5 years ago is what I meant. Riddle was good in this. I liked his fire in the after the hot tag. I like the cohesion with the Bloodline. I like the hope spots and the heat on Sami. I liked it. I didn't love it.
Yeah.
Sami kicking out of a double super kick. I wasn't sure about that, but I liked the shit going on with Sikoa and the Usos. I liked the Samoan spike spot with Jay. Some good near falls, but Sikoa getting the pin on Riddle was excellent as far as I'm concerned. Bro, what did you think?
Yeah, I wasn't into this at all. It felt like something that, again, is main event of Raw or SmackDown, that they've just extended the running time and taken out the commercials of. I don't quite feel the same that the Bloodline storylines run out of steam, but I do
No.
feel like it's going in. It's not pivoting enough. I think people still want to see the Bloodline storyline. I think it still has juice in it, but I think it needs to be more of a soap opera storyline, and it needs to evolve a little bit. Like you said, we need to get to that Sami and Jay thing, and we need another star performance from Sami there in order to mint him as a main event talent. But getting back to this match itself, it's nice that Triple H obviously told Riddle that he needs to behave a bit more seriously in this program. That's good. I don't really see the point of adding him to this storyline. I think Riddle makes more sense being slotted into the United States title picture, or something like that. I think he could have a lot of good matches against your Bobby Lashley's and people like that. But just the fact that it's essentially a rematch from the main event of WrestleMania Night 1, but they've added Solo and they've added Matt Riddle, and it's like they're not going to top the match or the energy or the moment that they had at WrestleMania. And this thing's going on after the Bad Bunny Damien Priest thing, which the Bad Bunny Damien Priest match was literally on all the advertising. He's like one of the biggest recording artists in the world at the moment. It's like possibly even one of the first times that a main event match has taken place between two Puerto Ricans in WWE. So everything about this this may be a match that they had to get through in order to get to the next part of the story, but I don't think this was worthy of a pay-per-view main event. I can't really give it more than like a C-. I just didn't care for it. I found myself just thinking, man, I wish this show was already over. Like, I think I've already seen the main event, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It felt like you'd already seen the main event, even though there was 2 matches remaining. I could have gone without it, but maybe it wouldn't have felt that way. Again, yes, if the Priest Bunny match was the main event and this was pushed back to be after the Zelina Rhea Ripley match. Anyway, let's get to our fucking main event of the evening here. We're 9 minutes 43 seconds. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, taking on the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. I'm going to let you take this one, bro. What did you think?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know about the idea of putting Cody in this situation. I don't know about the idea of putting Cody in a match against Brock and not making it one of Brock's 20-minute matches. It's not making sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me as the main event to this pay-per-view, even though it's probably the, 2 of the biggest draws in the company at the moment. None of it makes sense. I don't even really remember anything from the actual match. It was all right. Like, I very underwhelming to me. Underwhelming. I probably would give it like a D+. It's got nothing to do with what they do in the match. It's got to do with how it feels and the everything else that goes into making a match interesting and stuff. And I didn't feel like any of it was there. And that's all I've really got to say. I wasn't happy with it, really.
Okay, I didn't mind it. Brock, when he makes his entrance, I still think box office, or should I say Brock's office.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I liked that Cody jumped Brock, because why would he wait for Brock to get in the ring? That's good. I like that he immediately was, okay, look, the bell hasn't rung yet. I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to do something to weaken this guy, because he's probably just going to whoop my hole. So he wore him out the stairs, wore him out a bit with a chair. But of course, Brock weathered the storm once they got in the ring. And there's always that part where finally he catches him and he caught him with the German from the disaster kick. But, again, these Rock matches seem to have that same formula where he's going to keep hitting that German, Maybe he'll hit a regular suplex. And, they're going to find a way to have the babyface fire back and probably kick out of an F5, which did happen here. But look, one spot that I did like was Cody. He's going to be Germaned again, but he was holding onto the top turnbuckle, pulled that turnbuckle off, and it went flying into the crowd when he got Germaned. And then soon after that, what do you know? Brock got pushed right into that turnbuckle, busted wide open. And I was like, that's rare to see the blood like that. Now, maybe Brock was like, look, if I'm going to lose to him, then something's going to have to happen. And I'm going to have to look really, in a bit of a state in order for me to have been pinned by him. I'm just assuming. That's just an assumption. There were 2 crossroads. And then, of course, he went for another one, which led to an F5. But I think too many people kick out of the F5 now. I'm not sure about it, I think that it's too relied upon, people kicking out of finishes.
The other thing, because I think the attitude behind that, I think, has probably always been, oh, well, top guys can kick out of other top guys' finishes. But when you do that, it just makes anyone that doesn't kick out of it look weak. That's the whole point of a fucking finisher, is that it's supposed to be something strong enough to get the 3 count.
That's it. But you know what? I did like the finish. Because I kind of feel like if Cody beat him 1, 2, 3 from hitting one of his crossroads, I would have been like, oh, fuck off, man. Like, honestly, that probably would have made me think that. But because he kind of outsmarted him, Brock was a bit exhausted with the blood loss and all that. Just being able to use Brock's body weight against him, and Brock couldn't kick out of it. I liked it. It kind of reminded me of when Liv Morgan somehow could beat Ronda Rousey. I thought that, that was a smart way of doing it. So it was kind of reminded me of that. So I like the finish. But yeah, like I see when they're making their entrances, there's 18 minutes left in the show. By the time they've done the announcements of who's in the match, it's like, okay, this looks like there's about, 12 minutes left in the match, or left in the show. And then when this match was over, there was still like 3 minutes to go on the pay-per-view. And I'm like, what the hell, man?
That's a sure way to get a bad rating out of me, man. Like, I can't stand that,
But look, I think, we've come to the end here. We've come to the end of the review. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing.
Yeah, it was just kind of there. The Puerto Rican crowd was amazing. I appreciate that. Thank you to them. They made it more enjoyable because they were having fun. And it was nice seeing people like Savio, like Carlito, and as you said, the spotlight moment for not only Damien Priest, but really a lot of the Latino stars in WWE got a bit more of, the spotlight here, and that was nice.
Yeah, I think Damien Priest was star of the show as far as I'm concerned, despite Bad Bunny's reception. But Joosey Boy, do you have a rating out of 10 for this one?
Look, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5.5 out of 10. I think a 5 would be too low because, it was not dreadfully average. It wasn't fucking boring as fuck like WWE Day 1 last year, but, it wasn't anything special. So 5.5.
Right, I'm going to give it a 7, actually. And I'm giving it a 7 for Damien Priest and Bad Bunny and their efforts, for Savio Vega, for Carlito, for Zelina Vega's outfit. The nostalgia of the LWO. I like that, bringing it to the forefront now. And, of course, the crowd. That really helped a lot as well. But I could have taken and left a lot of things that were on this show. I would have liked a fucking Gunter match.
Yes. Where's the
IC belt?
You're literally. It's not even.
I know, bro. I know, but it's like they're about to bring in another world title. Oh, like the IC title can't even get on fucking Backlash. Like, what chance is it going to have now with another world title? Oh, fuck. Gunter's great, man. Anyway, thanks, Joosey Boy.
No fucking worries, mate. And
yeah.
thank all of you out there. This has been our review of WWE Backlash 2023. Thank God they don't call it WrestleMania Backlash because
thank God, bro. It's so dumb.
I've been Juicy Boy.
It has been.
This is Karlifornia.
I am.
We are the WZWA Network, and we will see you down the road.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.